This is by far the most simple putting strategy the pros are using and we are not. And I'll be honest, I think it's one of the major reasons why we three putt far too often. Okay, take this for an example right here. We hit an iron into a par 3 like the 11th here at Mottram Hall. We hit it to a good distance, well, let's say outside of 40 feet. And then we just have the urge, and this is what I mean, outside of 40 feet, this roughly around here. And I think it's safe to say we get in this scenario and we go, right, I am gonna hold this, I'm gonna go for it, and we blast it so far past, it leads to 3-putt after 3-putt after 3-putt. And I'll be honest with you, that mentality of trying to hole every single putt is where we're going wrong. And that's leading to 3-putting and leading to your scores going one way. Up, up, up. So what we really need to think about here with our putting, and it's really basic, it's really simple, it has an immediate effect and will start to lower your scores. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute we don't want to hold any of those putts, but it's the strategy around us putting. If they're going every time, absolutely happy days. 30, 33, 36, 39. Let's start with around 40 feet, or actually, to be specific here, anytime you have a putt outside of that 30-foot range, never try and hole it. This is zone number 1 of 3. I want and I need that mentality to be, we're thinking about a bin lid. So let's say a 3-foot circle all the way around the hole. That's the only thing you're bothered about. And I'm not even really going to town on the read. I'm getting a general idea of, is it uphill? Is it downhill? Is it left to right? Or in this case, is it a little bit right to left? All I'm looking to do is get it inside that bin lid. I make several practice strokes just looking at the hole. And I'm just stood here thinking, okay, is that enough? Does it need to go a little more right? Is it downhill? Is it uphill? Is it left to right? Is it right to left? I stand over the putt. I'm just trying to get it inside that 3-foot bin lid to take that pressure off. So I can just walk up here, take the flag out, make that 2-putt, move on to the next hole, and not waste shot after shot after shot. So zone 1, please make a note of this. I use this in playing lessons all the time. And it might seem defensive, but I promise you, it's actually going to lower your scores because you're not frittering shots away time after time. So anything outside 30 feet, think of the 3-foot bin lid, that's your only goal. Let's now work in that zone, and I'll be honest, I call this the danger zone. 7.5 feet to 30 feet, okay? So we're working a little bit closer now, so let's just work in that general rule of thumb, roughly around, I reckon around here. And a good reason why I call this a danger zone, really, think of the US Open this week. We're seeing the creme de la creme players hole putts all the time from here, but we're only seeing the top percentage of the top percentage. So of course, they are going to hold those putts. But in reality, anything from sort of 7.5 feet to 30 feet, a 2-putt isn't the end of the world. It's really not. And we get a little bit over aggressive sometimes. Now, I want to say something here. A top putting coach told me, and actually to be precise, his name was Stephen Sweeney, Lowry's putting coach to be precise, says a putt that is read too high will only miss by 50% of the distance its overall read. Whereas a putt that is missed really low will miss 3 times lower than it's read by. Now let me give you an example. So what I'm saying here at zone number 2, 7.5 to 30 feet, we have to get a little bit more in tune with the read. We were generally looking at it zone number 1. Zone number 2, we're being like, right, okay, we're really starting to tune our way in. Okay, let me give you an example of this. He says a 30-foot putt that is overread by 2 foot. So what overread means is missing on the high side, will only miss by 1 foot high. However, an underread putt by 2 foot will likely miss 6 foot low of the hole. So I see this all the time when I'm coaching my students. So many of us under reed putts. Let me hit 2 putts here. Watch how far low this one misses, okay? Look at that go, keep going. On the low side. Now if I hit this at the same pace, but I miss it on the high side, look how much closer this actually ends up. High side is always slowing, it's always working towards the hole, whereas the low side is always taking the slope and will always end up further away. So in that zone 2, I want you to be really bothered about the pace and the line, and always bear that in mind. Think about always, almost like, I'm not saying over burrow putts, but certainly in zone 2, let's think about always trying to miss on the high side. And I guarantee you'll keep it stress-free and you'll keep your scores lowering. Can you see that, right? Can you see the fact that if you miss it low, you're more likely to miss it 2 times further away? And how that leads to 3 putts. And then how that leads to your scores going one way. Not down, but up, going in the wrong direction. Okay, this is zone number 3. And this is 7.5 feet and in. So on the side of the screen here, you've got the 3 zones. The first one, 30 feet and out. The second zone, 7.5 feet to 30 feet, and then inside 7.5 feet. This is where we need to get better. This is where we can't be affording to miss too many of them. Be more bothered about these, less bothered about the rest. And the way to hold more of these, in my humble opinion, is not to stand here and try and ram it straight in, to get it smash against the back of the hole. Yes, you might feel a little more assertive. You might see some of the pros hold it that way. But the reality is, the harder you hit the putt, the less likely it is to go in, and the smaller your actual window opportunity to hole it. Whereas, if we have that simple mentality of just trying to get the ball to drop in, it can drop in from every single edge. It can drop in on the left side, just the front edge, the right side. Whereas if we're sort of blasting it, it's got to sort of go right in the middle. Whereas dead weight will always drop and find the middle of the cup. Thank you for watching today's video here on Alex Elliott Golf. This is your home of free, simple golf tips. Promise you, this is the hidden strategy that's going to lower your scores. Please tell me you're going to use it.